Sharing screen. All right, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna refer some of these examples from A-level textbooks. All right. So first of all, in differentiation, let's understand what UV rule is. Okay. Or what is product rule? What is product rule? Let's say you have to differentiate two numbers that are multiplied, or two expressions that are multiplied. Okay. So let's say you have to differentiate this with respect to x. Then how do you differentiate it? You differentiate it using the formula. You take the first expression, u, multiply it by the derivative of the second. So you have to differentiate v with respect to x. Understand? And then you will add it with the next term. What is the next term? The next expression is v. So you multiply that by the differentiation of u with respect to x. Now, instead of writing this, the better way, or there's an easier way to remember this, u v rule can be denoted, or very easily you should understand, u v prime plus v u prime. U prime and v prime indicates derivatives. Okay, so let's begin our topic. The first question that we have in exercise 4a is x times x minus 2 the whole raised to 5. You see, this question says use the product rule to differentiate each of the following with respect to x. That means you are differentiating it with respect to x. Do you understand this part very well? Now, how do you differentiate this? Is first of all, you identify them as u and v. So what is u here? U here is x. What is x multiplied to? What is the second expression? X minus 2 the whole raised to 5. Now, how do we differentiate this? Differentiation of u is, what is differentiation of x? 1. And what is the differentiation of v? 5 times x minus 2 the whole raised to 5 minus 1 is 4 times derivative of this bracket is derivation of 1, x is 1. Derivation of negative 2 is 0. So multiplied by 1. Now I'm assuming you know how to derivate simple tasks. But if you don't know, we'll have another lesson for that. But do you understand this so far? How did we get this answer?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So now let's apply this to our formula. What is our formula? Our formula is very simple. UV rule is u v prime plus v u prime. So for some of the simplest way of understanding this is just cross multiply u times with v dash, you see, in this arrow, and then the second one in this order, and simply add them. So what will be our new solution then? X times, what is the second term? Pi times x minus 2 the whole raised to 4 plus, what is the second confirmation? What is the second arrow? 1 times. 1 times any number will be that number, so x minus 2 the whole raised to 5. Simplify this further, you get pi times x minus 2 the whole raised to 4 plus x minus 2 the whole raised to 5. Now you can simplify it further if you want by taking out the common factors, or if not, you can just leave it here. Okay? Let's take another example. Let's take this one, 1D. So you have to derivate x minus 1. You see it's multiplied to the second expression. What is the second expression? X plus 5 raised to half. Why? Because square root of x can be written as x raised to half. So you know you have differentiation for power or exponents. So you need to differentiate this. Now how do we go about this? What is your u here? Your u here is x minus 1, v here is x minus 5 raised to half. So what is your u prime? How do you derivate this? Differentiation of x minus 1 will be 1, and differentiation of x minus 5 raised to half will be half times x minus 5 raised to negative half times 1. Okay, so which is equal to half times, because it's a negative power, what will we do? It will go to the denominator. So half 1 upon 2 root x minus 5. Is that understood? Now substitute this back into our solution. What is the solution now? What did I say? Cross multiply u to v dash and v to u prime. Okay, so on simplifying, what do we get? Our derivative will be x minus 1 times 1 upon 2. So can I say upon 2 root x minus 5 plus v u dash, which is, what is a v? V is square root of x minus 5 times 1, so which is the same. Okay, so finally, what is your answer? Do you want to simplify it further, or you want to leave it like that? If you want to make it a same denominator, then you can write 2 times square root of x minus 5. What will be the numerator here for this one? It will be x minus 1 only, because the denominator is same. What about here? You will have to multiply the whole thing over here. So it will be 2 times root x will be x. So root x minus 5 times root x minus 5 will be x minus 5. Do you get this? After this, you just simply have to simplify it further, open the bracket or expand the bracket. X minus 1 plus 2x minus 10 upon 2 root x minus 5. On simplifying this further, we get, collect the like terms together. 2x plus x will be 3x. Negative 1, negative 10 will be negative 11 upon 2 root x minus 5. This is how far you can simplify it. So you can see clearly how to differentiate when there is a product of two expressions. Okay, you apply the product rule. It's also known as Lewis rule. You can speak something, it's alright. Now let's apply this in a word problem. Okay, with this question, can you read this? Find the gradient of the curve. Find the gradient of the curve. You know gradient of a curve means
Differentiate.
tangent, and it is derivative, right, of the curve, correct?
Yeah.
And also we need to find the see, obviously derivative is going to give you the expression for the gradient, but if you want to find the value, then what do you need? You need the value of x. Do you have value of x in the solution? Yes, x is equal to -3. Okay, so derivative is nothing but the gradient function. If we know the gradient function, and we can easily find out any gradient at any point of x, okay, on the curve. So let's find out what is our curve. X squared times square root of x plus 4. Okay, that's your curve. Now, can you differentiate this? No, it's not possible to differentiate this because these numbers are not separated or these expressions are not separated, they are multiplying. So first of all, bring them in the form that you can differentiate. So x square can remain as x square times x plus 4 can be written as x plus 4 raised to half. Okay? Now, we can mark this as u and v. So what is our u here? U is x square, and what is the v? V is x plus 4 raised to half. Okay, now it's time that we derivate this. So u prime will be x square will be, on differentiating it will be 2x. Now if you don't know this formula, it is very simple. Differentiation of any number with an exponent can be written as n times x raised to n minus 1. So the power of x is reduced by 1. So x square minus 1 will be x. Now here, for this, differentiation of any function with a power can be written as n times that function raised to reduce the power by 1 and multiply it by the derivative of the function. Okay, so that's how we get the second solution. So v prime will be power half times x plus 4. What happens to the power now? N minus 1. So half minus 1 will be negative half times, what is the derivative of this whole function? Just this function. Derivative of x is 1. Derivative of positive 4 is 0. So 1 plus 0 is this understood? So we prime. Now simplify this further. Obviously you cannot leave your power in the negative form. So yeah, this anything in the negative, it will be inversed. So if let's say if you have any number with the power, let's say in negative form, you can make the power positive by inversing it. Okay, so 1 upon 2 was already in the denominator, so 2 stands there. What about this whole expression? This whole expression shifts to the denominator, but also it is negative half, so it went to the denominator, but half power means square root. And 1 is again in the numerator, so 1 multiplied by 1 will be 1. So here we got our derivative of v. Now let's cross multiply u prime and v u prime. So derivative of y with respect to x is given by, make sure you write this step, is given by u times, so u is x square times 1 upon 2. So can I say it is upon 2 root x plus 4 plus, because UV rule is very simple, UV prime plus VU prime. So what is VU prime? X plus 4 raised to half is nothing but square root times 2x. So times 2x. Now simplify this further, what do we get? We get derivative of the curve is equal to x squared upon 2 root x plus 4 plus 2x root x plus 4. Now if you want, you can simplify this further, or you could leave it like this, up to you. We can simplify this further, it will be easy. So it will be a solution. Make the denominator same, so it will be 2 root x plus 4. Multiply this by 2 root x plus 4, so x squared plus 2 times 2, just cross multiply, 2 times 2, 4, x. Root times root will be x plus 4. Is this followed? Oh, expand the bracket, we get x squared plus 4x squared plus 16x upon 2 root x plus 4. On further solving it, you can collect the like terms, simplify it. So 4x squared plus 1x squared will be 5x squared plus 16x upon 2 root x plus 4. So that's your gradient function. Now, what is gradient function? Gradient of the tangent. Okay. Now, if you want to find the gradient of the tangent, we need, what do we need? We need the value of x. So when x is equal to, what is the value of x here? X is equal to negative 3. So let's substitute x is equal to negative 3 in our expression. 5 times negative 3. So replace all the x by negative 3 square plus 16 times negative 3 upon 2 square root of negative 3 plus 4. So what do we get on simplifying? Negative 3 square is 9. 9 times 5, 45 minus, what is this? 16 times 3, that is 48 upon 2 root 1, which is 2. So finally, the gradient of the curve or the gradient of this tangent at x is equal to 3 is negative 3 upon 2. Or you can say negative 1.5. Okay? You get this? They're telling you to find the gradient and we have got this. So the key is to differentiate the curve with respect to x, and then whatever gradient function we get, substitute the value of x, simplify your expression and get the answer. And simplify it until you get a proper value. You can leave your answer in fraction form or you can leave your answer in decimal form. But make sure don't mess with the sign. Here it is a negative gradient. That means it's a decreasing function at x equal to 3. Okay. Now, next question here is also very similar. They're asking you to find the equation of a tangent. To find the equation of a tangent is very well known. You need to know a curve. What is the equation of a tangent? There's a simple formula. Y minus y1 is equal to gradient of the tangent times x minus x1. Here, the gradient is the gradient function or derivative of x at a given point. Okay, and x1 and y1 is the point where the tangent is passing through. And obviously, the question has mentioned the point and it should be given. Now, first of all, do we have a curve here? So y is equal to 2 minus x the whole cube times x plus 1 the whole raised to 4. So you can clearly see that these two expressions are multiplied to each other. You cannot differentiate it easily, so we will have to apply product rule. And what is product rule? U, V, U. So you can mark this as U, you can mark this as V, or vice versa up to you. So what is U? U is equal to 2 minus x the whole cube. Underneath that you can differentiate it instantly. So it will be 3 times 2 minus x raised to 3 minus 1 will be 2 times the derivative of 2 will be 0. Derivative of negative x will be negative 1. So let's simplify it further. So what is u prime? 3 times negative 1 will be negative 3 times 2 minus x. Are you able to follow this or am I going too fast for you?
Yeah.
So what is your v? V is x plus 1 raised to 4. Do you want to say how to solve this? What will be v prime? 4 times? What is it?
X plus 1
Yes, raised
raised
to,
to 3
and anything else?
times 1.
Times 1. Very good, because the derivative of x is 1 plus 0. What is the answer? 1. Simplify it further, we get 4 times x plus 1 the whole cube. What do we do after this? What is the UV rule of product?
U
U
times V
times
prime
V prime and V
V
times
times U prime.
V prime. So U times V prime plus V times U prime. That gives you the product rule. It's quite simple. Let's apply it. Okay. Is it for dim or what? Let me increase the brightness of the screen. Alright, so differentiate this curve y with respect to x, and differentiating the other side, the right hand side, what do we get? U times v prime, so which is, you can speak, I have no problem, 2 minus x, the whole cube times
4
4 times x plus 1.
plus 1 raised to 3.
Now I've used two brackets to separate the two expressions, plus what is this? V times, so what is V?
V times U prime.
Raised to 4 times negative 3 times 2 minus x the whole square. Let me just separate this part here so that you don't get confused. So that's your UV rule, okay? Don't forget to close this whole bracket. Now let's simplify this further. So 4 is obviously going to stand outside 4 times 2 minus x. There's nothing much to do here. Just keep the brackets together, multiply to each other. X plus 1 the whole raised to 2. You cannot multiply them together, so leave it as it is. Plus here, okay, negative 3 will come out. So negative 3 times positive will be negative 3, right? Because negative 3, 2 minus x the whole square times x plus 1 the whole raised to 4. Now can we simplify this further? You can treat this as one factor and you can treat this as one factor. What are the common factors? Take it out. What is the common factor here? Obviously 2 minus x is common in both. How many exponents can you take out from here? Only square, right? From both the terms, because you have only square here and you have only cube here. So obviously you can only take out square. What else can we remove? X plus 1. So x plus 1, how many powers can you take out from here? You have 3 here and you have 4 here. So how many? Only 3 can come out, the smallest ones. Now what is left out in this expression? 4 is left out, and you can see we are only taking out square, so one expression of this is left out. So 2 minus x is left. Minus sign remains as it is. 3 remains as it is. What about here? X plus 1 is left out. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Now you don't have to expand this further, you can leave it like this. So you will just write 2 minus x the whole square times x plus 1 the whole cube times, here you can expand the bracket, so you get 4 times 2, 8, minus 4x minus 3x, minus into plus minus. Simplify this further, what do we get? 2 minus x the whole square times x plus 1 the whole cube times 8 minus 3 will be 5, minus 4 minus 3 will be minus 7. So you see we got the simplest form of the differentiation. Okay. Now that we have got, what is this? What have we obtained? We have obtained our gradient function. Now what do? We need to still find the gradient. How do we find the gradient? By substituting the value of x. So what is our value of x here? In this question, it is that x is equal to 1. So when x is equal to 1, what is our gradient of the tangent? Substitute x is equal to 1 in this. 2 minus 1 the whole square times 1 plus 1 the whole cube. 5 minus 7 because 7 times 1 is 7. And simplifying, what do we get? 1 square is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 cube times negative 2. So what is the final answer?
Negative 16.
Negative 16. Perfect. So that's your gradient of the tangent, negative 16. Now, like I said, to find the gradient of or the equation of the tangent, what do we need? We need the gradient and we need the point. Do we have the point? We only have, what do we have? We only have the value of x, which is, value of x is 1. Correct? So what we'll have to do, we will have to substitute this value of x as 1 in the curve y. So 2 minus 1 the whole cube times 1 plus 1 the whole raised to 4. So finally, what is the value of y? 2 minus 1 is 1 cube times
16.
2 raised to
16.
4, 16. So what is our point? Our point is 1 and 16. Now that we have got our point, we have got our gradient, which is negative 16. We can simply substitute this in our equation. What is the equation of the tangent?
Y minus 16 equals minus 16 times
Right. So
x
equation
minus
of the
1.
tangent, I'm just going to write it over here. Equation of tangent will be substituted y minus y1 is equal to gradient of the tangent times x minus x1, which is y minus y1. What is the y1? 16. Gradient of the tangent is negative 16 times x minus x1. x1 is 1. Expand the bracket, y minus 16 is equal to negative 16x minus minus plus 16x. Mark this as in the form of slope intercept form, which is y is equal to negative 16x. 16 plus 16 will be,
32.
so that's the equation of your tangent. At x equal to 1. Remember, the equation will change at different values of x, okay? But gradient of the function, gradient function remains same for the whole curve, for the entire curve. All we need is the different values. Let's say if you want to find the gradient of the tangent at x is equal to negative 3, all you have to do is substitute it in this and get the new equation. Okay? And obviously you have to find the new y point. So are you able to get a hang of this?
Yeah.
Now there's an interesting question, question number 5 here. They are saying that gradient is 0. What do you mean by gradient is 0? When gradient of gradient is 0, that means the derivative is, or the gradient function is 0. When does it become 0? At what? At stationary.
Stationary point.
Yes. So at stationary point or turning point, you can say the gradient is 0 or the gradient function is 0. Now in this question, the curve is, again, it's the same kind of expressions. Let's do this one more question. And what is y? Y is 3 minus x the whole cube. Would you like to help this time? X plus 1 the whole square. Okay, is there anything else? Find the x coordinate. Now this time they're asking you to find the x coordinate. That means they want you to find this. Sometimes they will tell you to find the point. So you'll have to find x and then you'll have to find y. Let's do both in this case. Alright. So we have this information and we have this information. So shall we find the derivative? What do we apply?
Stationary point.
Yeah. What is u? 3 minus x the whole cube, correct? Here. What is v? X plus 1 the whole square. So what is u prime? 3 times
3 times 3 minus x raised
the
to
whole
3
square times.
times minus 1.
Very good. So what is further on simplifying? You get negative 3 times 3 minus x the whole square. Now what is your v prime? 2 times x plus 1 the whole raised to 2 minus 1 is 1. And the derivative of this is going to be 1. So anyway, v prime is 2 times x plus 1. How do we find uv rule? What is uv rule?
U times v prime
Dash plus v
plus v plus u times u prime.
Yes. So what is our solution? What is our derivative? So derivative of this curve with respect to x is, what is it? 3 minus x the whole cube times. Now by now you know you have to multiply, so you can just multiply 2 x plus 1. Okay? Plus multiply the second term, negative 3 times 3 minus x square x is to, sorry, 3 minus x the whole cube the whole square times x plus 1 the whole square. Simplify this further. 2 times 3 minus x square times x plus 1 minus 3 times 3 minus x the whole square times x plus 1. What is common in each of this expression? Come on, extract them.
Teachers, 3 minus x raised to 3, right?
Right. Oh, yeah. Yes, it's 3. Thank you. So what is common here? Obviously, 3 minus x square is common in both. So we take out 3 minus x the whole square. And what about x plus 1? We can only take out x plus 1. So x plus 1. Now what is left out in the first expression? 2 times 3 minus x minus 3 times x plus 1. Is this clear so far, this step? Now expand this bracket. 3 minus x the whole square times x plus 1 times 2 times 3, 6 minus 2x minus 3x minus 3. Simplify this further. What do we get? 3 minus x the whole square times x plus 1 times 6 minus 3 is 3, negative 2, negative 3 is negative 5x. Now that we have got our derivative, that's your gradient function. The question is clearly telling you that it is equal to what? 0. You already know that our gradient is 0. So mark it as 0. What do we get? Can you simplify this further? Alright, our meeting is about to end. Let me just stop recording.